Hey guys, I'm Alex Frankie, Miss Kentucky, back for another episode of Miss Kentucky Proud. And this week we are up in northern Kentucky at one of our incredible dairy farms. So if you love ice cream, cheese, milk, or any of those amazing treats, this video is for you.
I'm Eddie Gibson, and I'm not Miss Kentucky.
He was at one point.
Yeah.
He's just being modest.
This is Edmar Dairy. The Ed is for me. I'm Ed, and my wife is Marcy. Originally, this was my wife's grandmother's farm. They've moved here in like 1950, so our family's been here a long time.
So we're going to go meet up with Eddie and take a look at the robotic milker. Now, did you guys know that robots are used in farming all the time? In fact, the robotic milker makes it so that the farmer doesn't have to sit and milk each cow by himself every single day. So let's go take a look. We are in here, the room where it happens, where all the magic takes place with the robotic milker. And we're about to see how it works, but will you tell us kind of what happens once the cow enters from the moment it leaves?
Well, the first thing I guess to tell you is the cows don't come in actually to get milk so much as they come in to get a snack. The more milk they make, the bigger snack they get. So
Makes sense.
Yeah. So they walk in, get their snack. The machine reads the responder on her collar so it knows who she is. The robot arm swings down and there's brushes on it that cleans her udder off. After it does that, the milking machine attaches. It has a laser that acts as the eye for it.
Yeah.
It has flow sensors in each quarter, so when a quarter is finished, it comes off of that quarter until all four are done.
So do the cows enjoy the process? You mentioned earlier they really like routine and consistency, so this works for them, right?
Oh, yeah.
The machine also will say who is and who isn't ready, right?
Right. If it's too soon, it'll milk them as often as every 4 hours.
Okay.
If it's timed. If it's not, it'll just send them back out.
There you go.
But still, the main reason they come in is to get the snack, and they
Yeah.
just happen to get milk when they come in for that.
They haven't quite clued into that part yet. They're like, maybe there might be something else going on here.
Yeah.
So when they're being milked, all the milk flows through these guys and into this big tank, right?
Right.
So then what happens to it?
After each cow's finished, it pumps into the milk cooler in the other building. It cools it down to 35 degrees, and then a milk truck comes every other day, takes it to the processing plant, and about one day a month we send the milk to a fellow that makes cheese for us.
So you've got a really cool system here with how you keep everything clean and you flush the water through, and you've got sand, like the cows are laying on the beach here. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I guess the first thing is the stalls where the cows lay down. We bed them with sand. It's really comfortable for the cows. Plus it's inorganic, so that bacteria won't grow in it. And that's one of the more important things for having quality milk, is having cows that are clean and healthy.
Right.
And the sand helps keep them clean. So what we have gathered up here is what one cow eats in one day. This stuff right here, when a lot of folks look at it, they think, boy, it looks like wood chips. But actually, this is corn silage. It's the whole corn plant all chopped up in little pieces while it's still green. Each cow gets 50 pounds of that a day. This brown stuff right here, this is wet corn gluten. Everybody would know what this is, I would guess. This is hay. Every cow gets 14 pounds of hay a day. And then in this bucket right here is a grain mix that we use to feed the cows. It's mostly cornmeal. A couple other ingredients in here are this stuff right here is soybean meal. It's what's left of the soybeans after the oil is extracted. It's a byproduct feed, not much good for people food, but it's 48% protein, a great protein source for cows. Is dried distiller's grain. It's what's left of the corn after the ethanol is extracted. And then also every cow gets 2 pounds of this stuff. This is their vitamins and minerals. And I tell folks that come to the farm that I can promise you that these cows eat a more balanced diet than any person you know. Mostly because they don't have a choice, but I give them stuff that they really like. But they eat really good. They eat a whole lot of stuff, and when they eat a lot of stuff, they do their business.
Yeah.
And so we've had an ag engineer figure out a way for us to keep the manure cleaned up real good also. Down at the far end of the barn, there's a couple of places where a settling basin where the sand that we bed with settles out, so I can scoop it up and reuse it. And then the solids and the manure go down below that and separate out and use that for fertilizer. And then the water that we flush the barn out with, it gets used for fertilizer, but also we keep reusing the same water to flush the barn out again.
Seems like you've got a good handle on that whole reduce, reuse, recycle thing.
Well, we try.
So I'm curious about this fancy cow necklace you've got here. I mean, listen, I love some good jewelry, and I've seen every cow here wearing it, so it must be the hottest item this season.
It is in our barn.
Yeah. So what exactly is it?
Okay. These collars have a responder on it right here. I guess its main purpose is to identify the cows when they walk in the milking machine. A couple other things it does, though, you're going to think this is nuts, but there's a little microphone in here.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, if they're talking bad about me, I can hear it.
Well, you gotta keep a tight ship.
No, seriously, there is a microphone. It measures the number of minutes a day that they chew their cud,
Okay.
and you think, who cares?
Right.
One of the first things they stop doing if they don't feel good, or when they're ready to breed, they don't chew as much.
Okay.
So that helps me know if they're not feeling good or if they're ready to breed. Also, there's a pedometer in here.
Okay.
So it measures their activity. Again, when they're ready to breed, they're a whole lot more active. And also, if they don't feel good, they're not as active.
True.
So all of these things help me know how the cows are doing without actually being right there with them.
So that was a pretty amazing tour that we just went on, but what tour would be complete without a stop for souvenirs? So I'm curious. I've got my friend here with me. She's the director of sales and marketing for the whole operation, and she told me that she's actually a magician. She can turn this into this, but I might need to hear a little bit more about this. Can you kind of explain it to me?
Yeah, so we also make cheese. We don't make it here in-house. We make it in a creamery, which is just a fancy word for a place that makes cheese. In Taylorsville, Kentucky. And so this is about 10 pounds of milk. It takes 10 pounds of milk to make about a pound of cheese. So 10 pounds is a little bit over a gallon.
It's pretty hefty.
And this is all milk from our ladies out there that you've seen today. And it goes in to make our raw milk cheese.
So what different types of cheese do we have here?
We have a variety. Here we have Colby, which is really good in mac and cheese and your favorite grilled cheese sandwich. This one is called Banquet Cream, and this is Cotswold, which is kind of like Parmesan mixed with the cheddar.
Gotcha.
This one has chive and onion in it, so it tastes a little bit like sour cream and onion. They're all semi-hard.
And you told me a fun fact about cheese earlier, because we were saying, oh my gosh, is it okay that the cheese has been sitting out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's actually better for cheeses, especially semi-hard, hard cheeses, to set out for an hour, sometimes even 2 before you eat them. The flavor comes out more.
The more you know. Well, let's dig in. Well, Eddie, thank you so much for having me out to tour your incredible operation today. I had so much fun. I hope you guys did too. But can people actually come out and visit the farm for themselves?
Sure, we welcome visitors. Either just families, school groups, Girl Scout groups, church groups, anything. You can get on our website, edmardairy.com, and that'll tell you how to get in contact with us. And it was an honor for you to come here today.
Hey, it was my pleasure. Thanks for being on our show. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us for Miss Kentucky Proud.